Mars, I was going to begin by asking about the art of performing with your eyes. Because in this movie, you probably more so than any other character are going through more of like an emotional journey when you're up in the air. You're sort of battling so much. And you've got the mask on, you've got all the kind of stuff going on, which means you have to convey so much with your eyes. I was wondering about the kind of challenge of doing that, and was that something that you quite enjoyed doing?
That's a really good observation. Nobody's really asked us about that, but it's very true. It was something that I had, no experience with. I don't think any of us did, and also, this was really my first kind of action, doing any really type of action sequence, acting, and it was really tough. And I remember in the beginning when we would watch our footage back, Tom would just say, he's like, it's not dynamic enough. That's not, you really need to, in my mind, I thought I was really hamming it up or overacting, but then you realize that when you only have this, sometimes you do need to do a little more, but it was tough. Absolutely.
I'm not surprised to hear Tom was sort of giving sort of feedback like that, because it sounds like the standards he set is so high. I mean, there was a kind of clip that did the rounds a couple of years ago where he was shouting at people about COVID regulations. I was like, yes, because he just wants everything to be the best it can be. But that must bring out the best in everyone, across every department.
I think so. And also, I mean, Tom's the most detail-oriented person that I've ever met, and that type of attention to detail in the world of movie making is essential. And you don't want to let Tom down, so he elevates everybody's kind of workmanship.
And you're very sort of successful actor, been in this industry a little while now, but when you're in a scene with Tom Cruise in Top Gun, is there still a little voice inside you that just goes, this is pretty cool?
Oh, for sure. I mean, I find that, absolutely. There's a moment in this film where Tom is like running at me. So I got to witness the Tom Cruise run in person, and in the scene I'm not supposed to be enjoying it, but absolutely in the back of my mind, I couldn't wait for him to get to me.
I wanted to talk about the flight training as well. So I mean, it sounds like you guys really had to do a lot of prep for this. What sort of thing what did you guys have to do?
Well, we started out, and it was a program that Tom designed himself, and we started out basically doing the same preliminary steps that anybody would do if they were going to get their pilot's license. So we started in the Cessna, and then we gradually worked our way up until we got to the F-18s. And but we were flying almost every day for almost a year.
That must be one of the great perks to this job, like picking up skills that you otherwise probably would never have done.
Yeah, but they're also depreciating skills. Like, I didn't get my pilot's license after this. Somebody, Glen Powell actually did get his pilot's license after. For a period of time, was I really good at hanging on and keeping my stuff together with the F-18 pilot? Yeah, but that's a skill I have no use for now.
Did you carry on drumming after Whiplash?
Yeah, but I've always been a drummer. Yeah.
That's great. But was it ever quite scary being up there? I mean, I know you did a lot of prep. You were kind of well versed in that period of time. But there's a lot of I don't really know what G-force means, but I know G-force is a thing.
Right.
Was it ever quite sort of nervy when you were in that kind of in the seat of that plane?
I mean, to be able to do the job well, you really kind of had to eliminate the fear, because if you're, when you're supposed to be acting as the pilot and in control of the aircraft, you can't have that. But there were certainly a few moments where I did have one or two moments where I stopped acting and, looked at the ground because I thought we were going to hit it.
And I mean, I'm sure people bring up, there's that scene on the beach, you're all playing volleyball or whatever it is.
Football.
Tops off, football.
American football, yeah.
American football. I was sort of watching that scene. Was there quite a competitive atmosphere on set? I mean, I always remind you, if you sort of go to the gym, you've got all the guys in the corner doing weights. Because when you've got a lot of people, a bit of testosterone, everyone's kind of out there playing these characters. Did it create a competitive element? But that could be quite good for a movie set.
I mean, I'm sure maybe there was a little bit of that, but that's never been an area of my life where I've decided to really get real serious or jealous of, another guy's kind of physique or anything. But sure, yeah, a little friendly competition.
Yeah, and if you ever think, there's a guy called Tarzan. I mean, if you're going to have competition with a guy called Tarzan, you're probably going to lose as well.
Right, yeah, exactly. And he lives up to it, too.
Yeah, brilliant. Well, thanks so much for your time,
Cool.
Miles. Much
Thank you.
appreciated.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys!
Hey, you guys, huh?
Hey, you guys.
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yes.
Nice.